Hello, everybody. My name is Leigh Camacho Rourks, and I want to thank you for joining me in sunny Clermont, Florida. Today, I'm here ever so grateful and celebrating the new issue of Moon City Review, the 2020 issue. Isn't that a beautiful cover? I feel very, very lucky to have a short story in this issue, and today I'm going to share it with you. It's a little bit of a science fiction short story, so if you love science fiction, hopefully you'll like it, and if you don't, hopefully you'll like it anyway. The name of this story is 85 Days After the Second Ship Cast Its Shadow. Henri had seen the girl before. Not like this, he was sure. Not with bare feet digging ruts in the edge of the lapping gulf. Not with bare scalp, bare thighs, bare chest. The moment of unexpected recognition struck him so hard, he stopped and let his own heels sink deep into cool sand. He tried to remember, but all that came to him at first was the faint, weathered image of sun on yellow curls. Full, blinding light. How quickly he'd come to ache for it. Unfiltered, painful brightness, for the ability to turn upward and see red heat through shut lids. They were terraforming, for lack of a better word, smogging the sky to a dull and milky memory of what it once was, shooting blue, smoke-trailing somethings to the east. Early every morning, more of them. And then he knew. He knew that many times he'd seen this white girl lit full up, back when the sun's cast against concrete was still a yellow sear that haloed and burned, a neon prayer. The curls were gone, burned or shaved or maybe even torn from her scalp. He wasn't close enough to see, but there had been enough burned scalps, enough torn scalps, enough horror on his pilgrimage to know what was possible. He had seen they dim the sun, after all. He'd never known her name, the sort of stranger who was not quite a stranger. He had only seen her in stores or on the street, waiting for a bus that might or might not show up. Henri owned a car then, a nice car, 4-door, 2 booster seats in the back, and only did his own shopping occasionally when he needed something faster than the app on his phone could get it to him. They shared a general suburb, but nothing more. But she was the first person he'd seen in months who was at all familiar, and the first in weeks who was alive. He moved closer, realized she was older than he'd thought. Not that he'd ever thought much about her. A face that smiled and nodded faintly in the cereal aisle. You're from Baton Rouge, he said. He felt relief. Her hair had been shaved. Her scalp was not a mass of scars. Her left arm, though, was wilted, thin but angry, limp, nearly matching his own before strangers had cut it from him like meat and replaced it with metal and plastic miracle salvaged from the streets. She did not answer, did not even take a drag from the cigarello she was holding lit in her bad hand. They stood there in silence that Henri measured in the shortening brown cigarello. But he did not leave. He did not stop looking at her face. He could not. Finally, as if taking pity, she said, "Yes. Only, yes." And again they stood, until finally she, and then he, sat in the sand. She said, "You shopped at CVS." And then more silence. And then, or was it Walgreens? Or was it Walmart? Target? All the choices were exactly the same now. Or maybe always. Didn't matter. It was less than 3 months since he had parked a car, since he had thought of vitamins or ketchup, since he had seen another human he already knew. He had stopped. Walgreens, mostly, if I was doing it, he said finally. He had stopped speaking a while ago. His voice, the accent he had tried to lose in his teens, felt wildly unfamiliar. She put her hand, her good hand, on his foot. Sand caked his black sock and the two big Oxford he'd stolen from another man. A dead man. A corpse. "Your kids?" she said. And the other time, they'd seen each other enough that she knew his girls. "Taken," he said. "First wave." He did not say aliens. No one liked to say aliens. Her hand was still, a weight there. "I have stopped looking," is the other part he did not say. "If I do not look, it is just easier to believe they are okay," he did not say. "I do not know. I do not know. I do not know where else to look. I do not even understand how to keep looking. I can't figure out where else to go," he did not say. He had said those things to the concrete, and to the dimming sun, and to a dead dog on the street. He had said those things to his hands and to his blistered, bleeding feet. He had said those things too many times already. He measured their silence in her forgotten cigarello, the cherry longer than the first and second segments of his finger. He measured the silence in the way her hand did not leave its strange place on the rise of his foot. Measured in how strange that gesture was. How much more strange by the second, by the minute. Measured by the way the ash on the cigarello lost its color and became a gray, tottering thing. "Have you seen one?" she said. And then, "An alien?" Just like that. He said nothing. "Smooth," she said. "They are white and glassy," she said. And he did not want to talk about that. She finally took a drag from the cigarello, and it was a saccharine and spice smell that came out of her as she exhaled. She offered him a drag, and he, having never smoked, not even in college, not even when his friends teased his straight-laced ways, took it, inhaled the sweetness, coughed. White and glassy. Her hand stayed on his foot, and they smoked, watched the water under the pale, dying sun. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're having a good day, and I hope I'll get to meet you in person one day. Bye.